We're live. Do you have any updates on Terrence today?
On what?
Terrence, the counselor.
He's been passed through.
Right. I didn't know if there was any updates on that.
No, just not from what our email.
Gotcha. I was debating on deleting these photos. I didn't know if we'd talk about it again or
not. Just keep him in today. Maybe I'll bring him up during the show.
All right.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the show. Appreciate you guys being here. Hey guys, welcome into the show. Glad you're with us. Stephanie, good morning. Karen, how are you? Good morning, Kimberly and Tanya. Appreciate you guys here. As always, tell everybody, thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show. Hey guys, welcome into the show. Appreciate your being with us. Happy Monday. Welcome into the show, guys. Show before the show, 8:55. Remember, you can watch us on Facebook, X, Rumble, YouTube, in those spots. Joe, I just sent you another video there.
All right. And it's Cinco de Mayo, of course. Happy. Yep, that's what I just said. Glad you guys are here ready to rock and roll this morning. Just getting some final things done. Yeah, Mike says, good morning, YouTubers. Hope your day is better than the St. Louis Blues day. They were eliminated from the playoffs last night. They blew it 3-1, 2 minutes left. The opposing team, if you did not stay up and watch, Winnipeg pulled their goalie and scored not once but 2 times in the final 2 minutes, taking the risk. Blues had their chances all throughout the night. Good morning, guys. Nice winter we're having this spring. Yeah, we are. No doubt about that. No doubt about it, unfortunately. Hey guys, welcome into the show. Appreciate you. Dump and run game doesn't work and not attacking in the third period playing. Yes, it did, Stephanie. But even if we're going to get into it, yeah, Kyrou is a soft, you know what, and he always has been. Yeah, he was just whatever. Move for our St. Louis Blues people. And don't forget about Buchnevich freaking out at the end of the game. Just throw a puck down the ice. Throw a puck. Don't skate with it. Yeah, it was. It was sad. It's what happens. They got exactly what they deserved. And that falls right back on the players. They don't have any grit. That team doesn't have any grit whatsoever. Sorry. If they had grit, they win games like that. Very stressful. They don't have any tough leaders. I'm sorry. Parayko had 2 or 3 shots. Kyrou's soft. Somebody needs to beat his ass. Like literally grab him in the locker room and beat his ass. Come on, Shin. Anyway.
9 o'clock.
All right, let's go. Hey guys, welcome to canceltheshow.com. Vic Faust here. Pro Joe behind the scenes. Glad you're with us. You know, we've got all your news headlines. What's happening in America 2025, the Trump administration, and more. We are grateful you're with us. Of course, as always, you can watch us on Facebook, X, YouTube, and Rumble. Jump in on the People's Platform as well. We appreciate it when you guys jump in there. If there's something you want to comment about, if there's a story we should cover, anything, share, whatever. We appreciate you guys doing that. Love that you follow us. If you want to donate, you can do that on our website. We are grateful to keep this free speech going because it is not free. Thank you. We're here with it. It's Cinco de Mayo, for what it's worth. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Glad you guys are here. Okay, with that being said, lots of Trump news to get to today. Lots of Trump news going on because he went out and did some interviews over the weekend, and he was absolutely fantastic. What black voters are telling CNN about how they feel about certain things that are going on. Also, what's next for Donald Trump coming up in the next 100 days. Yes, there was a Canadian province that submitted to be the 51st state of America, which is absolutely awesome. And of course, anything else we can find that we're going to get into today. Okay. By the way, a new poll shows that 50% of Californians are saying that they would consider voting for a Republican governor. That's right. Way to go, Gavin Newsom. And as Projo said this morning, he's like, man, can you believe the Obama started a podcast? I was like, yeah, Gavin Newsom. They're trying to get at what conservatives have done so well when it comes to getting their messaging out to the people. Will it work? Is it working? Who knows? We'll see where it goes. Okay. And if we forget something, please jump in. If something happened from the weekend, let us know. We are appreciative of that. Housekeeping notes too. Joe just asked me. We did a lot of coverage on it last week. Thursday night, not many people showed up to the board meeting for the Rockwood School District, that in the St. Louis area, to protest a cross-dressing man who dresses as a woman. That was Terrence. What I was told, and it was in the St. Louis area, it was a huge lacrosse night, specifically in that area, and there weren't a lot of parents who came out to protest. So that has been passed. That person is Dr. Kane has approved, is what I've been told, and that is your new counselor for kids. Counselor for kids at Rockwood School District. in the elementary school of Wild Horse. Sits right there on Wild Horse Creek Road, not far out of the Chesterfield Valley. Kind of blew my mind, but it is what it is. Welcome to 2025. If you don't hold your superintendents and your board members accountable, that's what would happen. And the guy that gave me the whole story said, I've just told my kids, don't listen. You do not listen to that counselor. So it's if that's where you want to send your kids to school, then that's what you're going to do. But Wild Horse Elementary, wow. Okay, so those tidbits are there. Good morning, everybody. Appreciate you liking, subscribing, sharing the show, jumping in on everything that we have going on. Okay. Once again, huge. Yeah, Mike says hard to support Mexico for Cinco. I agree. That's why I said it earlier. Just right out of the gate, just what they're doing too. And Joe, if you could look up the video and sound I sent you, the last one regarding Trump talking about the Mexican president. It is because just put it this way. Kathy says before we move on to that story, now the parents should refuse their kids to be with him. They should. And then they should make a big deal about that as well. Him, who was born a biological male, who dresses as a female now. You can marry and do whatever you want. You can be married to a man and dress up as a woman and play like you're a woman. That's fine. Nobody stopping you from doing that. But when you come in and try to put that and force that on the kids, that's an issue. And if you say you're not forcing it on the kids, you are, because that's who you are. That's who you portray yourself as, and that's how you dress. I don't blame Terrence for going out and getting what he can be hired for. I blame Dr. Kane, the superintendent, and the people who hired and brought this person forward. And then ultimately, I'm sorry, I blame you, the parents. I do. I'm sorry. I was told, well, it was a huge night. Everybody was. If my kids were at that elementary school and somebody was doing there, I would not have gone to lacrosse games. The only reason I didn't go cover that is because my kids don't go to that school. My kids are older, and I sacrificed, went into debt and did what I could to have my kids go to private school because for our faith, not to allow them to be subjected to that sort of situation. Their parents should have showed up in there, but that's not what they want because St. Louis County is ultra liberal. And why do I say that? Because actions speak louder than words. So there you go. From the chat line, horrible that parents didn't show up for their children. Tanya, I couldn't agree anymore. I don't want to get on them too much because they are put in a really bad situation. Their tax dollars going to pay for this person's salary. Just think about that. That's really bad. County says, what sensible parent would send their children there? Well, if you live there and it's easy to send your kids there, yeah. And I promise you, there's probably a lot of parents that don't even know. I mean, I know a lot. They're like, oh, well, okay, I got this to do and that to do. But yeah, just if that's what you want, that's what you get. Congratulations. It is what it is. So people will always tell you what they care about with their words. Actions will always speak louder than words. People show you who they are, especially in tough situations. People show you who they are. So if that's what they want, that's what they get. Congratulations. Okay. It is Cinco de Mayo. Mike said it's hard to support Mexico during Cinco de Mayo. Mexico is still a person, or Mexico is still a place led by a person that is not supporting the United States, and that's their president. And she has not helped Donald Trump. She really hasn't. Cartels have been labeled terrorist, as they should be. And I mean, you've even got CNN interviewing terrorist groups. I mean, they are interviewing cartels about being labeled as terrorist groups. CNN is going and interviewing terrorist groups and asking them, well, how do you feel being labeled? I mean, they're interviewing terrorist groups. Cartels have been labeled terrorist groups by the president. And CNN is going and interviewing them. How do you feel about that? Just like the criminal who is right where he should be in an El Salvador prison. I mean, he was pushed there because he came into this country illegally. He was a gang member. And the audio of his wife in 2020 begging a judge for protection from him because he beat her all the time. Begging the judge. Begging because he beat her. And then you've actually got Democrat politicians acting like he's a hero. That's how messed up things are. You have people, if you're a conservative, If you mess up just a little bit or say something or oh my God, you're the worst. But you got a guy who's putting his hands on women, beating women. And then you have Democrats going to say, oh, he's a hero. He's a martyr. Yeah, those are the kind of things that have happened in Mexico. Now you have a situation where Donald Trump is calling out the Mexican president the day before Cinco de Mayo. So, yeah, I mean, whatever you want to celebrate, whatever, if it's a reason for you to go drink and have fun and carry on, okay, more power to you. I don't care what people do. It is interesting, though, that Trump is putting this woman, the president of Mexico, on notice.
So Mexico is saying that I offered to send U.S. troops into Mexico to take care of the cartel. She wants to know, is that true? Do you think I'm going to answer that question?
That's why I'm asking. We'll see.
I will answer it. It's true.
Why would you do that?
Because they are horrible people that have been killing people left and right, they've made a fortune on selling drugs and destroying our people. We lost 300,000 people last year to fentanyl and drugs. They're bad news. Yeah, that's true. If Mexico wanted help with the cartels, we would be honored to go in and do it. I told her that. I would be honored to go in and do it. The cartels are trying to destroy our country. They're evil. And, you know, we had 300,000 people die last year from fentanyl and all of that. We had millions of people brought into this country that shouldn't be here. The cartels brought them in. So if she said that I offered to do that, she's 100%
Are you
right.
disappointed that she denied that request, that she doesn't want
Well, she's so afraid of the cartel she can't walk. So, you know, that's the reason. And I think she's a lovely woman. But the president of Mexico is a lovely woman. But she is so afraid of the cartels that she can't even think.
Yep, that is true. Thank you, Donald Trump, for being straight up about it. By the way, Trish says so much is coming up now about J6, and all we hear about is Garcia, an MS-13 member. This is ridiculous because the media sets the narrative. Yeah, Ashley Babbitt's family, speaking of J6, there is allegedly a $40 million payout coming to her family for what was done to her. That is at least the word when you bring up J6. You know, we have a rundown for the show, and we continue with that rundown because we move as fast as any show in America when it comes to your news headlines, all of those things. But if you guys come up with something, I will roll with the flow. I'll ride that wave right to shore. Ashley Babbitt news over the weekend. Yeah, Ashley Babbitt, remember that name from January 6th. Wrongful death lawsuit. News coming out, $40 million, allegedly a $40 million lawsuit. Wrongful death lawsuit going to be paid to her family. We'll see. We'll see if it ends up being that much, but media not covering that, not talking about it. Of course, we already know the orchestration of January 6th, Nancy Pelosi, FBI agents, the whole goods. We've talked about it at length on this show over the years. But yeah, you're right. And then, of course, you see what media is trying to do. They're trying to take anything and everything they can from Donald Trump from a positive standpoint and squash it. Glenn says they should charge the Capitol police officer with murder. That will never happen, Glenn. I agree with you, but it will never happen. Just how it goes. It's sad. Yeah, a lot coming back out. Once again, I always say, remember the scorecard. Remember, because eventually, and keep the receipts, because eventually we're going to get paid back somehow, some way. Media won't cover it because you see what they try to do to Trump on a daily basis. And if you're conservative, what the national media will do. From the chat line, Jeannie says we should get very loud now, not specifically what you're referring to, but yeah, I've always said that. Be polite, be persistent, and make sure people know. That's for sure. Connie says Michael Byrd still needs to be in jail. That is the man who pulled the trigger, shot and killed Ashley Babbitt when there was no need for it whatsoever. And by the way, there are Democrats who still stick up for that person, taking an innocent life, unarmed person in the Capitol who was just walking through a window. Yeah, January 6th. I agree 100%. It's very, very sad. Ashley Babbitt. And if and when that family gets their lawsuit money, I'll be curious what kind of stipulations are put in there if they're allowed to speak about some of those things that are happening. Donald Trump talking about Mexico. He's willing to go in there and take care of business. She won't do it. He says she's a lovely woman. Is she afraid? Is she on the buyout? Is she on the take? Yeah, you don't want to mess with the cartels unless you have the force. Donald Trump and the American forces do. She lives in Mexico. Can she do something about it? Hell yeah, she could. Will she? Clearly, she's not. And that's why Donald Trump was answering a question, putting things in perspective, being the most transparent president we've ever seen, which is something we are grateful to see. By the way, Trump's first 100 days celebrated, as we should celebrate, but he says his administration is not slowing down. This has been the most successful 100 years in any president's tenure in the history of this country. This week, they're celebrating it, but his 16th week also, here we go. He's got a meeting with Canada's new leader, ongoing talks to end the war between Ukraine and Russia. Trade negotiations with foreign nations are expected to continue heating up before the 90-day pause on the reciprocal tariffs end in July. So that's coming up this week. So the Canadian Prime Minister is going to visit the White House. Mark Carney does not want Canada to continue to get crushed when it comes to these tariffs. He's going to figure out something. They are. Just to remind everybody, there's a 25% tariff imposed on goods from Canada that are sent to the United States, and Trump's repeated urging that the U.S. northern neighborhood become the 51st state. So they're going to meet this week as well. There's no slowing down for Trump or his administration. Case in point, Alberta, by the way, submitted a petition, paperwork, to become the 51st state of the United States of America. Alberta, we would welcome you. Come on in as the 51st state. I thought that was pretty damn impressive and funny to see with all the things that are happening. But Donald Trump's trying to help. He knows what's happening on our border. He knows where the drugs are coming in from. He knows where a lot of the weapons come in from. And he's just trying to take care of business. And of course, national media and Mexico, Canada, not allowing it to happen. Trish says China is dealing with Trump on tariffs beyond the scenes. Yeah. You know why? Because they're getting crushed. Their economy is getting crushed. China exports 5 times the amount of goods that the United States does between the two countries. Who do you think's going to get crushed in a tariff war? And then you have a lot of people out there who just are very uneducated. Tariffs are going to hurt us. I mean, these people, clearly they're Democrats, number one. Number two, they're uneducated. Maybe those two go hand in hand. I don't know. People tell me that. 3, there might be a mental disorder. You guys tell me that as well. Uneducated mental disorder Democrats. Dun, da, da. Joe says, I really hope future presidents try to model themselves after Trump. He's a cut above the rest. Okay, Joe, we already know what's going to happen there. If you're a conservative, you probably will try to model yourself after Donald Trump. Be yourself. But if you're a Democrat, you're going to run as far away from him as you possibly can. Judy says, I don't want Canada. No! Exclamation point. They have socialized medical medicine. Screw that. Pretty much. I know. Trump's just trying to be kind and sweet and nice. I don't know what Canada really offers us. Don't. I mean, hell, last night, their fans are still booing our national anthem, by the way. They were in Winnipeg. I mean, it just shows you who Canadians are showing you who they are. Now, I have a good friend in Canada. He's not like that. But many of the Canadians are like that. Paul says, Canada officially FO'd by electing Carney. How stupid can you be to allow this? He's already banning X. That's right. He is banning X and phasing out vehicles built in the early 2000s. Dictator much, Canada? Pretty much. Good morning to you, Donna. We appreciate you jumping in. Like, subscribe, share the show. You can watch us on X, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. We appreciate you guys going there, following us, liking us. And of course, we still continue to do what we can do. Tons of views on our show from last Monday on YouTube. We're glad to see that as well. When it comes to Donald Trump bringing these things up and the next steps, we'll continue to bring those this week. By the way, Mike Waltz, National Security Advisor, moved on to a new position. Good for him. Stephen Miller now being said his name as the new National Security Advisor for Donald Trump. Very, very interesting what could possibly be happening there. He says he plans to appoint a new national security advisor in about 6 months. He says his former advisor, Mike Waltz, actually didn't resign, but got an upgrade. That when you get moved to ambassador to the United Nations, it's an upgrade. So Trump said that he was speaking late Saturday night, and he was telling people what was happening with that situation. So he said, make no mistake, this was not a step down. This was a step up for Mike Waltz. Trump removed him. There was no resignation. And now look for Stephen Miller getting a lot of hype to possibly be the new national security advisor for Donald Trump. He's at the top of the poll, and obviously a lot of people like him. And you see him taking more of a center stage role as he has in the last month because he is so damn good talking on camera.
I like him.
There's really nothing to not like about, unless you're a Democrat. If it's a Democrat, you don't like him.
I just love how him and Caroline Leavitt really stick it to the mainstream media when they're in that press conference.
Yeah, and not sticking it just to stick it sake, but
Right.
fact.
Yeah.
As we always say, if you're going to say or do anything, just bring fact. Just bring fact. We're about fact. We don't need fiction. We're about fact. We don't need your feelings. This is 2025. Nobody cares about your feelings anymore. How do you feel? Bullshit. It's about facts, black and white truth. You can't have any sort of feeling in a relationship unless you have facts and truth first. Got to have truth first. And thank God this country is now back to common sense, led by a man who's bringing everything to the forefront as he should. You know what else is very interesting from the media interviews that he did? He did a long interview with Kristen Welker. I don't know why he continues to allow her to interview him. I think he likes to show the country how bad they are and how biased they are. I think that's why he continues to do these interviews, because he makes them look so damn stupid every time. And they try so hard with their gotcha moments. Let me tell you something. The trail of burned up smoke fire reporters is a long one of people who've tried to go after Donald Trump. And all he does is continue to be the wonderful man that he is. And yes, he is a wonderful man. Maybe he wasn't in a previous day, but the guy has done nothing but care about America, care about us, care about our kids, care about our grandkids and our family for years to come with the actions and laws that he's trying to put in place. And once again, he did not take his salary. Here he is talking with Kristen Welker about not taking a salary. Again, just like he didn't the first time. He gave the $400,000 plus salary back. He donated it. Now he's going to do it again. From the chat line, as we show that people absolutely love Stephen Miller. Absolutely love him. Here's Donald Trump talking about giving back his salary yet again.
No other president, they say, with the possible exception of George Washington, and they haven't been able to find those records. And we've had wealthy presidents before, but no other president has contributed the salary. And they told me before this that you will probably be asking me whether or not I'm going to contribute my salary again, but you haven't asked that.
Are you going to?
Yes.
You are? Okay.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, I appreciate we just made news there.
Okay. Of course, it's all about her again. Oh, we made news. Oh, I broke a story. She is so bad. That Vic, and Trump knows he loves rent-free or lives rent-free in the left heads, and they hang on every word that he says. Greg's trying to tell us that JFK did as well. I don't know what the president was then. Jeannie says, I wish he wouldn't donate it and take it. That's all right. I know. Easy for us to say, but Trump doesn't need to. I know. I know. I see where you're coming from. I do. But he just, he lives rent-free in the left's head. Case in point, another thing that I really, if you have a chance, go back and look at the interview. It's a really long one. Jeannie says he's working so hard for this country. He deserves to be paid. I get it. I know. Let's just be grateful that we have a man that stood in front of bullets, that literally was ready to die for this country, that's not taking a penny, that's been doing anything and everything he can to save us now and in the future, and that he is financially well enough that he doesn't need the $400,000 salary and that he can donate it. That's why I say, America, we are grateful. That's why I say thank God every day for giving us a man like Donald Trump. Not that he's perfect, but that we have him. And tell me there hasn't been one better president in the United States of America. I've asked some Democrats this. And they're like, well, who's done more? They can't answer. None of them. I can't even say Obama. Obama's not even liked by his own freaking party anymore. Here's Donald Trump talking with Welker about 2028, his hats. And this is what you guys said earlier. He lives rent free in the liberals' minds, their heads, and he knows it. And he just plays with them. Here he is talking about the 2028 hats. People, I told you he was never going to run for president again. I told you he's not. I told you he was trolling and toying with the media. And I love it when he actually talks about it here.
Trump Organization is selling hats that say Trump 2028.
Yeah.
Are you seriously considering a third term, Mr.
No,
President, even though it's prohibited by the Constitution? Or is this about staying politically viable?
I will say this. So many people want me to do it. I have never had requests so strong as that. But it's something that, to the best of my knowledge, you're not allowed to do. I don't know if that's constitutional that they're not allowing you to do it or anything else, but there are many people selling the 2028 hat. But this is not something I'm looking to do. I'm looking to have 4 great years and turn it over to somebody, ideally a great Republican, to carry it forward. But I think we're going to have 4 years, and I think 4 years is plenty of time to do something.
Yeah, I'd say so. After your first 100 days, the first 100 days was nothing short of spectacular. And if we look ahead, what you did in the first 100 days, Mr. Trump, President Trump, was phenomenal. Keep it going. Could you imagine what we're still going to get done in the next 100 days, in the first year and a half, 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years? Yeah. All of this is freaking amazing right now. They so badly want to report that he's running for another term so they can call him a dictator. It's laughable coming from the jet line. Of course it is. Well, yeah, that's what happens. That's what the Democrats and liberals do. They're coming up. It's like, why are we talking about this? And then, of course, it's all about Donald Trump has just finished his first 100 days in office. We should not be talking about who's going to be the next president, but that's what they want to do. It's like, let's get rid of these 4 years. Let's just start moving on to the next one, which is why you hear all this stupid talk about AOC and Kamala trying to raise herself up again, wherever she's been hiding out, doing whatever she's doing. And all the losing left liberal candidates. There aren't any good ones. There just aren't. But they all want to talk about this. Donald Trump did talk about that when they were on that topic. He doesn't want to talk about 2028, and he shouldn't, because he's working his ass off right now. Yes, Tanya, I know all the low-life justices need to be replaced. Congress needs to get off their rear ends. It's not going to happen, though. As much as Trump tries to change and do things that he can, there are some things that he can't. That's why we just have to support however we possibly can. But it is interesting. Donald Trump, first name he brought up about 2028, J.D. Vance. Talking about J.D. Vance. And he has to. That's his guy. But he brought it up. And what a terrific person J.D. Vance would be. I mean, obviously, he's brilliant. Very brilliant. Brilliant man. And he's proving to be the best vice president we have ever had as well, because he's being allowed to do the job as well. Greg says now they're flooding the media with Pope Trump. Of course, he likes to toy with him. It's awesome. Yeah, the Cardinals are meeting now. The 9 days are over of silence and remembering the Pope. So they'll be meeting to elect a new Pope. They start this week. And of course, Trump last week kind of, hey, I like Pope Trump, just messing with the media. He likes to mess with the media, and we love it when he does it. I love it. How about you guys? Trump also, orange smoke. That's pretty funny, Greg. I like it. Good morning to you, Cindy. Glad you guys are with us. Here's Trump with yet another freaking phenomenal idea as we talk about the first 100 days ending and what Trump has coming up this week in regards to meetings with Canada, continuing peace talks, announcements regarding trade with other countries expected this week. The other thing that's happening is the ideas and the policy, and this is why Donald Trump is so popular, One person, one pollster for Fox, as we broke down last week, ad nauseum, tries to say Trump's not popular, but he is super popular, is the fact that he comes up with these new ideas all the freaking time. How about the Alcatraz? Did you hear this one, Joe? It's amazing. Trump wants to revitalize, re-engineer Alcatraz and put our violent criminals there. What a great idea. Here he is. This is what he put out. It's a little bit longer for our podcast listeners. For you, though, on the video, you can see as I read along from this standpoint. Okay. Trump says, quote, rebuild and open Alcatraz. For too long, America has been plagued by vicious, violent, and repeat criminal offenders, the dregs of society who will never contribute anything other than misery and suffering. When we were a more serious nation in times past, we did not hesitate to lock up the most dangerous criminals and keep them far away from anyone they could harm. That's the way it's supposed to be. No longer will we tolerate these serial offenders who spread filth, bloodshed, and mayhem on our streets. That is why today I am directing the Bureau of Prisons, together with the Department of Justice, FBI, and Homeland Security, to reopen a substantially enlarged and rebuilt Alcatraz to house America's most ruthless and violent offenders. We will no longer be held hostage to criminals, thugs, and judges that are afraid to do their job and allow us to remove criminals who came into our country illegally. The reopening of Alcatraz will serve as a symbol of law, order, and justice. We will make America great again. And there is a picture from Donald Trump of Alcatraz. Yes, yes, yes. Joe says, I love this man, as he puts it out there. What's the over-under on fake impeachments? You know, that's going to be a plan by the Democrats, of course. Just do what they can. Mandy says, I love it. Sounds like a great movie. Yes, it's genius. Open Alcatraz, great idea. All of these comments coming in. He knows what he's doing. Yes, and from the chat line, just by mentioning opening Alcatraz back up, it could preoccupy the liberal minds. That's when he gets most work accomplished behind the scenes. The Libbies are so predictable. I agree. They are. They're so damn predictable. But the best part about this is the fact that we have a man. Every single policy that he brings to the forefront, and correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, in chat line, doesn't it make sense? I mean, common sense, creative ideas, not just sitting back and, yeah. You know, we had the mumbling, bumbling idiots. And then the Democrat before that, all he wanted to talk about was race and BLM or blah, blah, blah. Chad says, I think it's just a rib to play with the media. He enjoys it. Yes, he does. He does. He loves messing with the media. And they take it hook, line, sinker every single time. I mean, he hooks them right and left. Ring! He's hooking them and bringing in the media because he's so damn good about it. It could be. I don't know. I love the idea, though. It's just really good to watch him do what he's doing. He is the man. His comedic value is really, 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 really good, too. I put this out there for our Pro Joe because Pro Joe said this a long time ago. He's like, man, I love comedy. We know Pro Joe loves comedy. And Donald, he talked about his comedic value, his timing, how he delivers messages. He's just really funny. He is as well. And this from a recent interview that he did, he just makes the crowd laugh. This is our commander-in-chief, and thank God we have him.
Because you come under fire a lot. Our moms are standing for things that often the media attacks them on. We'd love to get some advice from you about running for office.
Yeah, so I would say don't do it.
No. Run for office. We want you to run for office.
I do say this, though. It is nastier to run as a Republican. It is. Now, I'm the ultimate, they suffer from a thing called TDS. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
TDS, it's It's a horrible, horrible terminal disease. It destroys the mind. It destroys the mind before the body, but the body eventually goes. TDS is Trump derangement syndrome. They have it at levels. They can't even stand their life. They can't stand anything. And, you know, part of the reason is I won an election which everybody said couldn't.
Commander in chief, more like comedian in chief.
Comedian in chief. Yeah. LMAO or LMAO. Yeah. It's a solid idea. Clint Eastwood was the only one able to escape from there. Yeah, he was really good. He had a good plan. That's pretty good. But Trump is so damn funny and amazing. He really is. I do think it's a great idea. Great idea. Will it happen? I don't know. We'll see, but it's fun to talk about, right? Yes. As headlines come in, just reminding everybody, because we get so much in, we stuff it in the show. By the way, Antarctica gained ice for the first time in decades, reversing a trend of mass losses. That coming from an independent study, not one from a conservative side. So just thought we would share that as well. Yeah, that's what I thought. Joe says he's so right. He is so right. He's so right because he's done so much of this. His comedic value is freaking phenomenal. And it's not just him. He's got so many people talking about him. Pete Hegseth continues to do a phenomenal job. We told you last week, Media Research Center, that Pete Hegseth, the amount of is 100% negative coverage. 100% negative coverage of Pete Hegseth. You know, they hate him because he was an anchor on Fox News. They hate him. But I love the way he speaks and speaks passionately. And he shows it here, speaking about Donald Trump to our troops, about who Donald is and what it means to work for that man.
Mr. President, thank you for restoring the warrior ethos inside our formations, for rebuilding our military, reestablishing deterrence around the world, and making Americans proud to wear the uniform. That recruiting surge we're seeing right now is because they know they have a commander-in-chief that has their back. That's my message to these men and women every single place we go. All I ever wanted when I was in combat was to know that my commander had my back, no matter what. And with Donald J. Trump, that commander has your back. And that means something to the men and women of America, and that's why we're seeing a record surge in recruiting. That's why we're locking down our southern border. That's why our enemies know we mean business, because we have a commander-in-chief that has our back, and he has the back of this base as well. God bless you all. Thank you.
Hell yes, the chill factor, Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump. Once again, we just continue to kick butt, take names. They want them out so bad. Yeah, I agree. They do. They do. I would love to see Trump tour the base there in Antarctica. If it's going to get some shock value and help America, yeah, he'll do it. He would do it in a heartbeat because that's what he does. He gets things done and he makes sure that we're doing the best that we can as a country. Donald Trump's also, I mean, everything about Donald is greatness. People go, you're just like, you're such a Trump lover. We're just bringing facts up. Donald Trump also commissioning and taking care of bills to take care of a new Air Force One. Boeing not getting the job done. So Donald Trump's going out and getting business done himself. $400 million new Air Force One. He works night and day, 24 hours a day. So he's on it. I mean, check out some of the pictures from the new Air Force One that he wants to put into place and that he plans on getting done. It was commissioned during his first term, but it wasn't done by Boeing. Now he is taking matters into him, getting it done by himself. The Air Force One's pretty damn impressive. That's right. $400 million. Media will find a way to try to blame him for doing something. Oh, you're using taxpayer data. No. Yeah, this is for presidents, and he wants to get his own plane. He's taking care of everything because Donald Trump needs to, because he can't count on anybody else to get anything done, because that's what happens in our country. Thank you, Donald Trump, for showing us how to get things done. We love you. We love you. We love you. Okay. It's not just us loving him. Black voters who got Donald Trump elected, we all know that, elected for him at a higher rate than anybody else ever in the history of this country in modern times. Black voters, younger voters, really played a huge part in getting Donald Trump elected president because they were tired and fed up of what Democrats have done and lied to them about. They see the African American community is very smart and becoming more and more intelligent at saying, listen, we listen to these leaders, these liberal leaders, and they haven't helped us. They haven't done anything. Yeah, Todd says, I wonder if Trump will get to fly in the new plane. I don't know. I don't know if he will or not, but he's certainly doing his part because he wants to leave a winning legacy, and he's doing it every day. It's why he works harder than anybody else. He got a second chance to do the job, and he's doing even better than he did the first time. Thank God we have him on our side. But black voters, and this is so great, the evil CNN, and I say evil because, like I said, they're the same network that went and interviewed the cartels to ask how their feelings are after being labeled terrorist groups. Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. But Van Jones, one of the political commentators for CNN, who has already gone public and said Donald Trump is smarter than the rest of us. He is more intelligent than most of us, that he has made the liberals look stupid. I mean, been honest. He had no other way but to speak truth. Sat down with African Americans who voted for Trump, and guess what? They said they would do it all over again.
If you had to do it all over again, would you vote for Donald Trump again, yes or no?
Yes, I would. Now, in the future, I am not a diehard Democrat or diehard Republican. If there were a Democratic candidate who was more aligned for me, then I would vote Democrat.
If you go back in time, would you vote for Donald Trump, yes or no?
Yes.
I think I might know the answer on this.
He said yes.
It's immediately yes.
No, I'm sorry.
If you had to do it all over again, would you vote for Donald Trump, yes or no?
1,000% absolutely yes.
Doesn't that bring a smile to your face? I love it. Hell yes, they would. People see the greatness that this country is providing right now. Yes, I'm proud of them as well, Joe. Proud of every one of us that voted for Donald Trump and would do it again. But even that's what Van Jones is finding. They're all finding what they need to find, and we are loving life because of it. Thank you for showing that. And we're just getting all kinds of work done. It's like if there's one group of people that saw what the Biden administration were doing, it was the African American community, and it came with illegals and what illegals were doing and how they were taking up a lot of resources and being given things free just because they showed up here illegally. They're criminals. Criminals. And I love to see what we have here, but we reported this last week. Remember Donald Trump coming up with all kinds of ideas? There's one every day, so it's easy to forget. The self-deporting. Well, news came out again today. They're serious. The Trump administration is dead serious about paying illegals to self-deport. Oh, that's awesome. By the way, Todd says Dearborg's had a sign up new lower egg prices yesterday. Well, hell yeah, they did. Donald Trump had to tell everybody last week about inflation going down and prices going down.
Eggs have been down for weeks now.
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually really good. I've been eating eggs like crazy.
There you go. They're good for you. Very, very, very good for you. Well, Donald Trump wasn't kidding about the self-deporting. Here's a story regarding what's happening about illegals being offered money to self-deport themselves. Thank God I love this story.
To you. So Fox News can report exclusively that DHS will announce today that they're going to start paying for the commercial flights of illegal aliens who self-deport from the U.S. And on top of that, they're going to pay them an additional $1,000 stipend once they're confirmed to have left the country. Now, DHS says doing this is going to be significantly cheaper for the American taxpayer. They tell us that right now it costs on average about $17,000 to arrest, detain, and deport someone. They say paying for self-deportations and the stipend will only cost about $4,500 per person. That's about 70% cheaper. Aliens are going to have to register to self-deport on the new CBP Home app to access that DHS financial assistance, as well as announce their intent to leave the country. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem tells Fox in part, quote, If you are here illegally, self-deportation is the best, safest, and most cost-effective way to leave the United States to avoid arrest. In the meantime, here in the sanctuary city of Los Angeles, ICE confirms to Fox News that 3 suspects arrested in connection with the home invasion murder of a man in the Woodland Hills neighborhood last Sunday are all in the U.S. illegally.
Isn't that just wonderful? Yeah. Just take care of business one by one. Love it. All of these things that are happening. Amen. 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 This is fantastic. Thank you, Donald Trump. What an idea. Terrific ideas, things that are happening around the country right now. Joe, what did I just send you? Didn't I send you another video? I couldn't remember what I sent you.
Yeah, NPR's Catherine Mock.
Okay, over the weekend. I think it happened on Friday. I told you this was a heavy Trump show today. Hope you're enjoying it. We move fast. So much getting it going on. He has officially signed the documentation to defund NPR and PBS. And I am sorry, if you look at what NPR and PBS has done from their political standpoint, it has been incredibly terrible. We have already spoken about this over and 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 over again. NPR, not one conservative person in their entire newsroom. Not one. Yet, they tried to say that they're down the middle. Well, they're freaking out now. The heads of NPR and PBS here speaking about how they're down the middle. Listen to this bullshit.
And our people report straight down the line. And I think that not only do they do that, they do so with a mission that very few other broadcast organizations have, which is a requirement to serve the entire public.
If you think PBS is biased, compared to who? Name one news organization in America, and I shouldn't be defending us, I get paid by PBS, but I'm going to do it, who's more straight down the line than we are.
And our people report straight down the line.
Yeah,
and I think
straight
that
down the line.
not only do they...
NPR, PBS. Yeah, that is such a freaking lie. All you have to do is pull up the stories, their reports, and you find out very, very fast what they're trying to do. They're running scared. They're trying to get public opinion on their side because their cash cow is going. It's going bye-bye. It's terrible what they do. It is, and it doesn't take an older, experienced person in politics to realize what they do. They do it over and over and over again. Joe says, I'd keep PBS if I could put all conservatives in top to bottom. Yeah, of course. Of course you would. We all would. But that's not what's happening. That's not what they're doing. Donald Trump taking care of business, as we say, one day at a time. NPR can pay their own bills like everybody else. Yeah. Yeah, just like the $269 million that USAID was giving to George Soros so he could come back and tear down America. Yep. The World Economic Forum had that money taken away. That's what we try to do. What a huge crock of shit coming from Joe. Yep. Greg says, when I was growing up, Bert and Ernie were roommates. Now they're going like and making them gay. I know. I've seen it as well. It is sad. And it's true. Those are the kind of things that are happening. But America is doing everything they can, at least from a political standpoint now, to turn this around. Lori says, by the way, during COVID, PBS had commercials for children to talk to your parents about getting the vaccines. Of course they did. And now they're going to have their funding pulled, as they should, because there aren't any legitimate journalists at PBS and NPR. If there are, tell me. Let me see one, and then we'll go to their work, and then we can decide very quickly and simply and easily if they're really telling both sides of the story. I dealt with this in local news. There were so many people I ran into that would say, well, I'm right down the middle. But then you find out their thought process, and in their minds, they're down the middle. Many of them were. They weren't just being evil. There are those, Jasmine Crockett, which we'll get to in a second. But there are these idiots, because of how they grew up and who they hung out with, that had this closed mindset. Well, of course I'm being down the middle. What do you mean, Vic? Why do we need to give Donald Trump coverage? He is a bad person, literally a producer of 2 shows, local news. Cross-dresser, by the way, told me that. Younger guy. Tried to tell me, what do you mean we need to be fair? He's evil. He's a bad man. That's why. in their minds, they need to be checked. Hello, wake up. This is not what's happening. Those are the kind of things that you have to deal with. But we got a new Big Bird and Cookie Monster. I know. They're puppets. Yes, I know. Mandy says, all I think of when I listen to NPR is Alec Baldwin, Sweaty Balls skit. Okay, I know. NPR. Hi there. Okay. They're so afraid and nasty. And thank God Trump continues to control them. I brought up Jasmine Crockett. This is why the Democrats are so screwed. They're literally trying to push Kamala for another run in 2028. I'm not kidding. And Jasmine Crockett's out there. You know how she talks, and she tries to talk ghetto now. And she didn't used to do that when she was first elected. But now she's getting paid to talk like this and and incite violence. And there aren't Democrats who are calling her out. It's because they're afraid. And if you don't call out one of your brethren, does it make you a coward? In my mind, it does. You're a coward. Why can't you call out your brothers and sisters for trying to incite violence, assault? And she's done it multiple times. That people are afraid. This time she feels empowered when she gets around people that allow her to do the things because she's a bully. She's a verbal bully. Here's Jasmine Crockett from a grad ceremony. And tell me what would happen if Donald Trump or Republicans said this at a grad ceremony like Jasmine Crockett is.
There are going to be people that tell you that you don't belong, and I am here to tell you over and over and over that you absolutely belong. There are people that are going to tell you that there is not a table in which there is a seat for you, but I am here to remind you of Montgomery and those folding chairs. Let me tell you
that
we know how to use a chair, whether we pulling it up or we doing something else with it. Let me be the first one to tell you that I know that y'all are ready to put your boots on the ground. That's your cue. There we go. Hey.
You ready? Where them fans at? Where them fans at?
Dear God, help us all. She's inciting violence, talking about using chairs to get what you want. Ginny says that is nothing but a ghetto rat. Kimberly says she's ghetto trash. What school was that? I don't know what school it was. And that's the Democratic Party right there. Just keep it. And somebody said, why do you give her attention? Well, it's just to show you what's out there. As long as she's around with Democrats not calling her out, she makes them look really bad, like really bad. Joe says, yikes. Over again. And your student loan payments begin again today. Thank you, Todd. That's right. Donald Trump holding people accountable for those payments that they owe. Kevin's laughing. I know. It's one of those things. What else they doing with the chairs? Well, they're going to use them just like they would in wrestling. They're going to hit people with those chairs. This is why it's all just unbelievable, the things that we're starting to see. They're so lost. And that's why I always say, be grateful. Be grateful for what we have. Because it was only a few months ago that we did not have Donald Trump or the people that we have doing the jobs that they were doing. Last year at this time, we were wondering what was going to happen. Are we really going to be able to change things in America? And Ginny says, sounds hillbilly to me. Okay, well, there you go. There's something else. Another update that just came through a little bit ago too. Josh Hawley doing his best to make sure that prescription drug costs do not go up and going after big pharma. Want to make sure that we recognize the senator from Missouri who has done a terrific job as senator and also trying to take care of things being done there. That's for sure. By the way, another just tool, Mike Pence accepted an award from the JFK Foundation for putting his life and career on the line during J6. You can't make this stuff up. Oh, yeah. Once again, as I told you, this man was a traitor. This man is a fake. He's a phony. And the fact that he got destroyed publicly and gets destroyed everywhere he goes, he gets booed if he goes to conservative causes. So now he accepts an award. Once again, just remember who Mike Pence is, who he is, where he goes, all those things that are happening. Welcome to Mike Pence. Welcome to Mike Pence. Welcome to Mike Pence. Also, it's Judas Pence coming from the chat line with Kevin. Once again, Judas Pence. Well, of course. Absolutely. No way, please, Vic. Tell me that's not real. If you're referring to the Mike Pence deal, yes, it is 100% real. Mike Pence accepted an award for putting his life on the line for J6. Yep, I'm going to get even more details. Yep, you'll look it up. You'll find it. Yep, he got it. Like I said, the JFK Profile Courage Award for his January 6th actions because he was so courageous. This man will go to his grave as a traitor. This man will go to his grave as a liar. And he received it for defending democracy. We already know what the left does. They'll do what they need to do to try to make the people that they want not look so good. Pence, a real American hero, said no one except the left. And once they're done with Pence, guess what? They'll throw him to the curb too. Lori says J6 truth coming out. Nice way to deflect. Exactly. Because as we started the show, if you're just joining us, allegedly rumors are out. There's some sort of a wrongful death payment that's going to be coming to the family of Ashley Babbitt. Let us not ever forget what happened to her. The officer who shot her, killed her, murdered her will not be charged ever. That will not happen. But that doesn't mean we have to forget. And that's what they're trying to do. Yes, it is unbelievable that they were trying to deflect and bring that information up. Oh, yeah, that's what we want now. This is so great. It is what it is. By the way, we're grateful for our support from Wendy's. Wendy's in the Chesterfield Valley. 18,000 Chesterfield Airport Road. Work hard, play hard. Check out the wings, the smoked wheats, the incredible hamburgers, their pizzas. We talk about those all the freaking time. They're absolutely amazing. So the buffalo chicken salad, they've just got so many darn good things. Good food, good service. That's why people go back there all the time. And when we talk about food, Capriati's obviously in the Rock Hill area in St. Louis. Capriati is a national sandwich brand. They're top of the line sandwiches. The Bobby's been voted best sandwich in America at least once, maybe twice. It's an incredible turkey sandwich. They roast their turkeys every day, slice and dice them in the morning. They also serve Wagyu beef. I talk about the Philly cheesesteak being unbelievable. Check out Capriati's 9 to 9 every day. Also, if you're grilling, Rockwood charcoal, you can get it around America at Ace Hardware. Get it throughout the St. Louis area at any of your stores, your grocery stores. And what makes it special and stand out is the best charcoal in America is it's all natural. You take a piece, you squeeze it in your hand, it falls apart. Go take some of the other big name brands, take a piece, try to squeeze it, and it's hard. That's because it has fillers. You don't want to burn that stuff on your food. We become more health conscious with our food and what we put into our body. Only use Rockwood charcoal. Also, when it comes to real estate, you need to get your real estate game in gear. More and more homes are coming open right now when rates go down, and they will by the summer. There's going to be a lot of people out there. You don't want to be fighting. Get your plan in place right now. Check out Megan Livingstone. That's Megan at experience-re.com. Megan at experience-re.com. Or you can give her a call, 314-249-1708. That's 314-249-1708. Megan Livingstone. Get your plan in place. Sold another house over the weekend. She knows the community, especially the St. Charles County area, St. Louis County, South County, you name it. She is all over the place from that standpoint. Also, we give a shout out to alliancetech.com. If you go to alliancetech.com/cancel this, they work with companies when it comes to cybersecurity. If you know somebody that's looking to take care of cybersecurity issues, they'll give you an assessment. They will take care of it. And there will be a special situation for you if you go to alliancetech.com/cancel this, alliancetech.com/cancel this. Brian and his crew are top notch at everything that they do. They took care of our computers in the office here as well. They're helping us with our IT guys. They are second to none when it comes to the IT work that needs to be done. Also, Estetica Med Spa, when it comes to second work done, they've helped take care of my face. Estetica Med Spa, ladies and gentlemen, they're in Lake St. Louis, literally off Highway 40 at Winghaven Boulevard. Top-notch technology when it comes to health, aging gracefully. It is amazing how all of their women and injectors are trained and the technology that they can use. Absolutely amazing, and that's why they have such a large clientele of people. Happy customers keeps people coming back. We're grateful from that standpoint. Also, WeQuipUSA.com. Once again, WeQuipUSA.com. Paige and her crew. I think she's going to stop by the studio tomorrow for a little bit, Joe. So just give you the heads up. WeQuipUSA.com. You go onto the site, you rent products to other people, and obviously you can go rent products from others. Put your own products on there. And they set you up in an area, no matter where you are in the country. You can rent and buy products back and forth, back and forth. Just a really cool idea. They've been supporters of us for a while as well. Guys, we appreciate you joining us for canceltheshow.com. That does it for the fastest hour in news headlines when it comes to a political standpoint. By the way, the trial of P. Diddy also expected to begin today. His attorneys say there is no case here because everybody that he had, quote, sexual relationships with were willing partners. We'll see where that goes. Guys, thanks again. For Pro Joe, I'm Vic Faust. That does it for Cancel This. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central. Have an awesome day.
Folks, today's a big conversation. I'm your host, Dr. Eric Pagui.